I'm Judy Mandel, and I'm going to read from my memoir, Replacement Child. And this is the second chapter of the book.
You can say when it's coming out and what publisher?
It's Replacement Child's coming out in spring of 2013 by Seal Press. I can't say that enough. I'm sitting on the deck behind my house in a quiet neighborhood in Connecticut, looking out at the pool in the backyard that needs mowing. My husband, David, doesn't want me to mow it anymore since I had trouble with my back a couple of years ago. He'll mow it when he gets home from work. I'll have a couple of cold beers waiting, and we can take a swim before we put some steaks on the grill for dinner. It's a hot day, even in the shade. A couple of years ago, there would have been troops of kids splashing and sliding down the slide. Now, though, Justin is 17, and his friends come in 2s and 3s to quietly swim. This new stage of his life has snuck up on me, and I'm sometimes surprised by the way he now towers over me and speaks in a deep baritone. With my cell phone and laptop, I can do some of my freelance writing work outside when the weather is nice, which is what I'm doing today. My parents' deaths had smacked me up against my own mortality and made me take a hard look at my work life. After a 20-year career in corporate communications, I decided I didn't want to play their game anymore. I'm lucky that I've been able to develop a good freelance writing business with some of the same companies I've worked for years. So I have the chance to structure my life differently. I call my sister Linda in Florida. She answers the phone on the first ring. We talk for a while about our kids, the weather, then she mentions a new makeup she wants to try that's more natural looking than her last one. I think of the many brands of makeup she's tried over the years to cover the scars on her face. A red and brown relief mat that traces down her neck from just below her eyes. She wears her hair over the remnants of her ears, which she has pierced herself in defiance. No one would do it for her, to wear earrings. Some of the cover-up makeup she's tried has worked well, while others have left her with a whitish mask. I tell her she should try the one she mentions, and then I tell her I want to go back and see the scene of the crime, the crash site. Why would you want to do that? She's incredulous. I try to explain that since our parents died, I've had a nagging feeling that there's something left undone in my own life. It may have something to do with the accident, I say, and going there in the flesh feels suddenly important to me. There have always been missing pieces, for me, in the story. Up until now, I've dismissed the gaps as irrelevant to my life, but now I suspect it's those missing pieces that may hold the seeds of my own truth about my ambivalence toward my father, my troubles with men, my schizophrenic attitude toward risk and safety. I'm hoping the trip back will help me understand more about their lives and my own. I remind her that I was never brought back to the scene at Williamson Street or taken to Donna's grave. My parents never talked about going back to see the spot, and I have no reason to believe that they did. When I get finished explaining my reasons for wanting to visit the crash scene, Linda seems vaguely satisfied with my answer. Nevertheless, she's able to give me specific directions. Go up Broad Street towards East Jersey, follow it until you get to South, take a left and Williamson is on a block down, then right into the old neighborhood. On the drive, I realized we must have passed this street many times over the years. Certainly when my father had his jewelry store just up the road. But no one acknowledged it to me. We passed through the lazy suburbs with manicured lawns and two-car garages to the city-like outskirts of Elizabeth. These streets get narrow and are lined with parked cars on both sides. Red brick apartment buildings sprout up between storefronts and three-family houses. Driving down Broad Street, I note that it is transformed from what I remember. It used to be a bustling thoroughfare with Buster Brown shoes, Levy Brothers department store, specialty women's shops, and a wide variety of restaurants. Broad Street was a destination in those days, when my father's shop was right in the middle of it. Now, people were right when they said it had gone downhill. Many stores were boarded up, discount stores showcased cheap clothing and junk jewelry. The deli we used to have lunch in next to my father's store is now a dollar store. With each block we pass, layers of my postcard memory are replaced with the raw red meat of a new reality. We turn off Broad Street onto South and quickly come to the cross street of Williamson. I get out of the car and stand in front of Batten High, 50 yards from the crash site. Directly across the street is a newish red building with clean white striped awnings. It stands at the site of the original yellow brick house where my parents lived with my two sisters. This is a tiny, precise space. I wonder if the pilot avoided the school purposely, knowing he would save the 300 students inside, or if the story of his signaling his wife by tipping his wing has any truth to it. I think of Linda being carried to this very spot to wait for help. The local mailman stops to talk. One of my customers had family killed in that accident. Everyone remembers it, he says, as he points out the landmarks, the new school, Elizabeth High, across from the old one, the new annex of St. Elizabeth's Hospital down the street. This place is so different from my suburban childhood home that I cannot envision what my life might have been like here. But I would not have been here. Being here is like revisiting the set of an often played movie, like I've stepped through a looking glass to my family's tale. At the top of the street, I see for the first time the exact site of the crash, this place of an end and my beginning. Thank you.